To part 1 of 5 of Fiducia's Typology video workshop series. This is where we're going to really briefly talk about typologies, why you should care, and why they're actually important to your business. And I understand that typologies is one of those most generic, most tedious compliance speak words. And it's a real lost opportunity to think of it that way, because they are also one of the secret weapons to you being able to have a compliance regime that's super effective, really targeted, and frees you up in all sorts of unexpected ways. I'm going to really briefly give you an introduction to typologies by describing, first of all, reminding you what money laundering and terrorist financing actually is. You can see up here, this is where the criminals undertake their criminal activity. They then take the value or the funds that they get from that activity and place it into the financial system. They layer it to disguise where it's come from, and then it exits back out into the legitimate economy. And your business, as an AML reporting entity, is somewhere in one of these 3 grey circles, or perhaps all 3. The thing to remember about money laundering is you're looking at it going backwards. You're always looking back to try and find the source of the funds. And with terrorist financing, you're looking forwards to try and determine whether terrorists could be using your business and its funds for terrorist activity in the future. So typologies is just a really jargony, tedious, policy waffly way of saying the techniques, the methods, the systems in which criminals and terrorists could use your business to carry out their activity and disguise the illicit source of the funds that they gather or intend to use. Now, when you're thinking about typologies, this is probably what you're thinking about. This comes from, the Financial Intelligence Unit in New Zealand, the police who are charged with gathering the research and communicating that about the techniques, methods, systems by which criminals and terrorists launder money and fund their terrorist activities. This is not what we are talking about. This is a starting point. It's highly theoretical. It's based in research. It's totally abstract. And what we see is a lot of businesses just plonking these things, cut and paste, into their risk assessment programs, training their staff with this. It is gobbledygook. Trade-based money laundering, shell companies, structuring, cash couriers. If you just stop at these words with no context, you lose the real meaning, you lose the application of what it looks like in your business, and it makes your staff and people just sort of tune out. What I'm going to be asking you to do in this series is think about typologies and just use them in your business with plain language, with facts and figures, with very specific descriptions. You'll hear me say a lot when you're working with us, explain it like I'm 5. 5 might be a little young to be talking about typologies, but I'm always aiming, if a high school student can't grasp what you've written or can't grasp the point of what you're saying, you're on the wrong track. We need to break it down, make it real, make it specific. What I'm going to talk about in the rest of the series is 4 particular ways in which this is going to benefit you in your compliance regime. It's one of the best ways to best fulfill the purpose of the AML-CFT Act. It's one of the most effective ways to reduce your costs and effort. It will decrease your regulatory risk, and believe it or not, it will turn your staff into AML-CFT champions. I've seen it happen. It's true. Here's one thing for you to do right now. Go have a look at your risk assessment, see where your typologies are. Ask yourself, could somebody who is just entering high school understand what you're talking about when you're talking about your typologies? If yes, are there facts and figures that are up to date and relevant to your business included in your typology discussion? If yes, you're a winner. Put your feet up. If not, go back. Ask yourself, could just a high school student understand this, and does it contain any relevant reference to the way your business operates in practice? The rest of the series, we're going to give you some examples and show you more.